Bone and bile. How delicious.
Good morning, ghouls and goblins. It looks like we're here for Season 2 of the BBPN. Let's go ahead and jump right in. We'll take a look at some of the teams and sort of see what they have going on. We have a Luke 4444 with an undead team. So 2 mummies, 2 whites, 3 ghouls. He does have the 1 skeleton, which I like as the dirty player. Really straightforward team build. He's got some level ups. He's already got Blodge on the ghoul from the first gameplay. So this team is looking nice. Definitely a really good level up on the first game. J-Town with the role players in the High Elves. So he went the thrower 2 catcher build with 2 rerolls. So the idea being he has most of his rerolls built in with the pass and the catch, and he has his 2 blitzers. So curious that he went for that positional heavy and skimped the apothecary. If you take an injury on one of these blitzers or catchers or the thrower this early, that's going to really set you back. But 2 rerolls, high risk, high reward. I like it. And they're all strength 3, which is awesome. So these 2 catchers, being AV7, are probably going to be heavily targeted by some of the Bashir teams. We'll see what Luke does with them and how they move about. Oh, I'm sorry, not Luke, J-Town. Whew, still early. Directions with my boy Tassarin. So looks like he has 1 game played as well. And 4 warriors, 3 beastmen, 3 rerolls, no APOV. So this is also another fairly straightforward. I'm a little bit sad that the team, these look like stock names, and I'm very upset. That's not cool. Not cool, Tassie. Not cool. That's why nobody leveled up in the first game, because you didn't name your players. Just pointing that out. Up next, Splinter with the cool rich dudes and the Bretonians. So he's got a miss next on a blitzer and a movement down lineman. No early levels to be had. 2 rerolls, 2 fan factor. So I don't know. Starting without the APOF is always risky, especially if you're going with 4 blitzers. These are basically what make and break your team. I'll be curious to see how this plays out. These guys are also not named, so I'm severely disappointed. It's very sad, Splinter. Very sad. Eric's with the Necromantics. Oh, double wolf start. I like it already. Double wolves, double whites, double ghouls. No flesh golems, 3 rerolls. This is a good build. I'm really a fan of not starting with the flesh golems on Necro. So no game played yet, but he certainly has the makings of a good Necro team, and Eric's certainly knows his Necros and his lizards. So let's see what he does with them, and good luck in the future, Eric's. Oh, did I see that right? Hold on one second. He started with 3 fan factor. Nice. He's going to look to pick those rolls up early. So I like that game plan, actually. I like going after the fame early and trying to keep ahead of everybody. Good call, Eric's. I like that. It's something a little different. Alright, there we go. So great with the Nurgle. So he went an interesting build. He started without the Beast and went with 3 rerolls. I'm personally playing Nurgle. I took the Beast and went the 2 reroll risky route. This is certainly doable, as it lets you start with more Beastmen and more rerolls, which you really kind of do need early. This is not wrong. I just think you need to start with good old Fluffy, the Beast of Nurgle. You need him, especially early on, and if you have these other dodgy base teams. That said, I'm definitely curious to see how it plays out, and I wish you the best of luck, Gray. Goat boy. Hashtag not my panda. Wow. He's really mad. But it's okay, guys. We're still the champion. Pandemonium the Bull Centaur. Panda Potato the Bull Centaur. There you go. Nice. We got the memes going. We got the memes. So all blockers, double bulls, and 3 goblins. So it's pretty. This is a straightforward build, right? You don't need to go 3 rerolls this early. You have a lot of block on the team. He did opt to pick up, it looks like an APOT out of the box, which is great. He does have 1 game played, but he's sitting at 80k, so I'm pretty sure he started with it. So 2 fan factor is nice. Looks like he picked up 1 to kind of get the fame early. It's a running theme that we have in this division. So MVP landed on the bull. So this is pretty big right here. Developing the bulls early and getting, if you're going to turn 1 into a ball carrier, they're probably one of the better ones. And I'd argue that the ball belongs on at least one of the bull centaurs on a Chorf team. Granted, I had 9 almost wins with them, so my strategy might be a little bit busted. Well, good luck in the future, Goat. And I'm glad you actually named your players. Guinness sitting at TV 0. Looks like he made a team. He's got a motto, so we're not going to yell at him. And it's important to note that the league technically kicks off today. Some of these divisions actually started early due to people wanting to get rolling. So Guinness has a nifty team. I look forward to see what he does with the elves and how he builds the team out. He is a former world champion. As far as the Cyanide client goes, and overall good guy. So I really appreciate Guinness hanging out and playing with us. So best of luck to you all. Tasserin, except for you, because you didn't name your players, and you are hereby demoted to Panda Potty Patrol, as Ace has been promoted. With that said, we'll take a quick look at the leaderboard. We had a couple games played. So it looks like Luke beat out Tasserin. I'm not sure how Greg Ray is sitting at 0-0-0. Typically with no games played, nobody shows up. And it looks like Goat Boy beat out Splinter. So I'd say it's a little surprising that the Undead beat out the Chaos right off. They do have skills, but I would... You know what? No, I guess it's not surprising so much as I was actually thinking that the Chaos team would come out ahead. In this specific matchup, but it looks like some shenanigans happened, and there's where we're at. So, that being said, we're kicking off the league tonight. Congratulations to everybody who signed up and made a team for Season 2, and I look forward to casting the rest of the season for the Nurgle division. And remember, boys and girls, pandas never lose. They only become the champ. Thank you and good night.
Day there, lads. BBPN Season 2 historic games the week have returned. As you'll see, not only is there a live Twitch cast, you've also got the later on publishing on YouTube and of course Twitch. And of course the exchange as it continues is going to have a grand old time. For all you out there, continue watching, give your support, and Nuffle, bless your dice.
To the great deceiver.
Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting. What a pansy. Hello coaches, and welcome back to BBPN. For those of you who don't know who I am your resident Dark Knight of the Void, Scar. Here to give you all the updates on the, the Zinch division again. And we have quite an array of teams this time around. So this should be more entertaining than even that turf war I went to a few days ago. So much blood. Anyway, let's get right on to the teams and see who will be dying for our amusement. Let's start off with the Amazon team Whitewater Motorboating, coached by Finn Hale, and the motto, "Them Rapids Hurt." I'm sure they do. We have 4 blitzers, a thrower, a catcher, and 5 linewomen. Pretty good. We also have an apothecary and 4 team rerolls, which is a little excessive. I guess Finn Hale is really expecting to get nuffled this season. Well, let's just hope it's enough. Up next is the Murderopolis Mayhem, a Chaos Dwarf team coached by Hammer Time. No motto though, a little disappointing. Let's see, we have 2 Bull Centaurs, 6 Chaos Dwarves, and 3 Hobgoblins, with an Apothecary and 2 team rerolls. So, pretty standard for a Chaos Dwarf team. Next up is always the fun team to watch, Ogres, the Mighty Titans, coached by Kam Yarrick. No team motto either, so can't be perfect. With 5 Ogres and a bunch of Noblars to die, 1 already wounded. And it's pretty standard with 2 team rerolls and an Apothecary, so I guess he does care about his Noblars at least a little bit. Though this is clearly going to be a very uphill battle for them, I really wish Kam Yarrick the best. Next up, we have a Khmeri team, the Ra-Ra-Ras, coached by Vort, with the saying, "Skeleton War Represent." Very much so. Let's see, we have the all-important 4 Tomb Guardians, 2 Blitzras, the Vital Throw Ra, and 4 Skeletons, with 2 team rerolls and 5 Fan Factor, which should give them a very strong start. I'll have to see how well Vort compensates for the low agility. Up next, we have Wood Elf, the Raven Cabal, coached by RK Blaze. No team motto again. Oh well. We have 2 War Dancers, a Thrower, and a bunch of linemen that are going to die, especially considering there is no Apothecary, 2 team rerolls, and got 1 extra Fan Factor because he doesn't like money. Don't expect this team to be a full 11 players for much longer. Up next, we have a Lizardman team, I'm not even going to try and say that name, coached by Cosmodon, with a team motto that I'm also not even going to try. We have 4 Skinks, 6 Sauruses, 1 starting off really well with block already, and a Croxagore, with an Apothecary, 2 team rerolls, and 1 Fan Factor. Pretty great start for a Lizardman team. All they'd have to really do is make sure those Skinks stay alive. Up next, we have a Dark Elf team, the Blitzburg Bumblebees, coached by Good Time, and the motto, "Love the honey, fear the sting." Of course I will, dear. Now we have a Witch Elf, 3 Blitzers, 1 already sitting on a level up, and a bunch of linemen that are probably going to die and not even Good Time bothered to name. We have 2 team rerolls, an Apothecary, obviously for the Witch Elf, and 1 Fan Factor already, so pretty, well, non-normal Dark Elf team. Should be interesting to see how far they get. And finally, we have Kislev, the Ice Queen Jesters, coached by Cordaris. And the motto, entertaining the Ice Queen led us here. Of course it did. We have only 2 blitzers, a lot of linemen, and a tame bear, with 3 team rerolls, no apothecary, and 1 fan factor. You sacrificed quite a lot to get that tame bear. I hope it's worth it. Because those lack of blitzers or really ball management is gonna hurt you in many places. Wish you the best of luck. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really looking forward to this season. For once, it's not completely overwhelmed with bash teams like other seasons, and plenty of fun teams that should give us all the glorious death that we could ever hope for. If I had to bet, I think Cosmodon and his Lizardmen is off to a wonderful start and will probably be at the top of the roster if nothing terrible happens. Okay. The Hammer Time Dwarfs is having a rough start, but will ultimately make it because they're Chaos Dwarves and they're overpowered. And finally, Good Time and his Bumblebee seem to be in a pretty good position right off the bat as well. Definitely taking a risk with grabbing a Witch Health instead of their 4th Blitzer, but I guess only time will tell. Until then, this is Scar saying, win or lose, the Void always gets its revenge. Back to you, Cadet.
They say there is honor in battle. They are fools. We fight for the Emperor, but the blood we spill serves another. More Lord of Death, keep our souls, lest they fall prey to him.
Well, welcome back, and what do we have here? Yes, it is another season of spilling blood for the great blood god Khorne, as Season 2 of BBPN is right around the corner. Some teams have already kicked off, some teams haven't. Let's go ahead and look over our teams and see who we have playing for us this year in Khorne Division. So starting off, we have Scar with the Chaos, the Void Rift Raiders, with the time has come to feed. Good has a nice motto. 3 rerolls, 1 apothecary, 4 warriors, bunch of beastmen. Pretty standard. No skills yet. 1 warrior is 1 SSP from leveling. Nice little pass, gets him block and or guard or whatever he wants to take, and you start getting their stuff going. Looks like he got a touchdown. Does look like he has a few casualties in there as well. We'll see how he goes on, as Chaos tends to be slow. Hikaru, Ed's worst nightmare, with the Gobos. Naaman, I see he's pulled in everyone in the league this year to play for him. He has 2 trolls, the Looney, the Fanatic, the Abominator, the Pogoer. He went full out, got every single secret weapon there is, and a bunch of goblins. So he does have a bench, he does have the apothecary, he does have 3 rerolls. That 990 team value, though, that might come back to haunt him, as he will probably not be able to get very many bribes early this season. We'll see how it works. Gluggachuckers, the vampires, Nerd Frog. So he's missing a thrall with a movement decrease. Big deal, he's a thrall, he's there to get munched anyway. 4 vampires, 3 rerolls, no apothecary. But they all do have touchdowns, so he has 3 vampires set the level. Next game, the Thrall gets the MVP, so we'll see what happens with him. Panda coming with the Stinky Boy Bandits, Papa Nurgle. I do not want to see him win Khorne Division. Papa Nurgle can't beat Khorne. But he already has a block on his Pestigore with 3 touchdowns in a single game. Casts on a Nurgle Warrior and a Rotters coming in and getting a few SSP themselves. We'll see if Panda can defend his championship, or if Papa Nurgle eats him like the rest. Horsing around Lando, the Kimry, taking the double throw raw, 1 blitz raw, bunch of skeletons, and 4 Tomb Guardians, 3 rerolls. I'm not sure if I agree with this. Blitz raws are extremely potent, as they're one of your only other not AV7 players. Though having double sure hands is nice, but I prefer the blitz raws with the attack, and having 2 block to start with is nice, but we'll see what happens for him. Don't poke me, man. With Dr. Helix, the lizards. He gets a skinked level with an AG up. That is great to see. I predict it's going to be dead within 3 to 4 games, but we'll see. Crocs gets the MVP. A bunch cast on 3 source. Other source still lacking. 1 SP on this skink. So he's looking pretty alright. 1 apothecary, 2 team rerolls. Looks pretty decent start for the lizard team this year. The Knights who say, yee, McMackey, I'm going to hurt you for that. Going in with only 3 blitzers, not 4. Bunch of blockers, and a bunch of peons. 3 rolls, 1 apothecary. It looks like he has played a game. Got a touchdown, got an MVP, but nothing going. But this is Bretonians. We'll see if they die a very quick death, or if they will perform. The last one, Orkland Nation by Kabake. If that's Raider to Oakland Nation, you might want to change that name, because they're going to be the Vegas Raiders soon, son. Does go with the thrower and the 4 blitzers, 4 blackworks, and 2 linemen. Thrower does have a touchdown, blitzer has a touchdown, cast, and a MVP. So the blackworks are not getting anything first game going, which he's going to really want down the line. Thrower, controversial pick. I like the thrower, gives you a little bit more flexibility, but that's just me. But we'll see how he does with 3 rerolls, 1 fan factor, and we'll see if the Orcs can pull out some victories. And we'll see if we can predict the last one here. We got Horse Around versus Ed versus Nightmare. Fresh Chaos versus Gobos. Well, as you saw with the team value, the Gobos aren't going to be getting any bribes whatsoever, so they get 1 drive with any secret weapon. Horsing Around, though, or no Kimry. I'm going to give it to the Kimry. Those 4 strength 5 players with 1 blitzer running around blocking everything. All those 3 die hits. I think he's going to be injuring some Gobos. Probably even a death, maybe. And I'm going to give it to the Kimrys. So, there you have it. There is our Corn division to start off. I'm happy to see it back. I'm happy to be back. And we shall see you guys next time, as we get a few games under our belt and see where everyone stands, who's dying, who's surviving, and who's dominating. Until next time, spill blood for the blood god, and collect skull for the skull thrones, you heretics. I'm Ace, and I'll see you later.
It is said that heresy is like a tree. Its roots lie in darkness, while its leaves wave in the sun. You can prune away its branches, even cut the tree to the ground, but it will grow again, ever stronger. Such is the nature of heresy, and why it is so difficult to destroy. Some may question my right to destroy a world of 10 billion souls, but those who truly understand realize that I have no right to let them live. No sacrifice is too great, no treachery too small.
Hey there, BBPN. We are here for the preseason of Season 2 of the main league, Slanesh Division. This is 2 kills, 1 cup. Going over the teams beforehand, so that way we can see what we have going on here. Alright. Let's check out these teams in the division here. Of course, all of the coaches that we have in most of the divisions have been around for a while, so there's really no division that is easy. The majority of the coaches are very experienced and very good. So, in this division, lo and behold, Scum. But if you notice something different, he is playing dwarves? What? No gobos this time. Looks like he is tired of the dice hurting his goblins. So he's going to go ahead and let the dice affect these dwarves. We'll see what he's taking. Is it something interesting? And no, it's not. It's going to be a good old regular bunch, long beards, of course, 2 runners, 2 blitzers, 2 troll slayers, standard build. I think something may be wrong here, though, as I am noticing that we have... Oh, I'm sorry, there have been some games that have been played. So, we do actually already have a runner that has dodge, which is pretty nice, and a troll slayer who has already gotten his first mighty blow. Scum has 2 team rerolls. It's dwarves. I mean, what do you need starting out? You've got a boatload of skills, so 2 team rolls is fine. 1 apothecary in case somebody dies. 1 fan factor, which you probably just won from this prior game. They're sitting at 1,060 team value, so they looks like they're sitting pretty already from their first game. Also, of course, called the Sons of Panda, but notice that we have some panda-related action names here, all except for Steven Seagull, but that's just a fun one. So, alright, it'll be interesting to see what the Scum does with these. We've never seen him play anything but gobos, and so we're going to actually find out what happens when Scum plays something regular. Probably going to do well. Alright, next up we have Placebos, Gorgeous Gals, a Dark Elf team. And got a motto, don't get too distracted by our ladies. Alright, I'll try not to. Team roster. Alright, he has got 1 Witch Elf to start off with. He took a runner and only 1 Blitzer. So this is a different build. Usually you see more Blitzers. The runners you sometimes see later on. I'm not used to seeing them right away. And it looks like he has a game in as well, so he already has a block on this Witch Elf, which is nice. Doesn't have much money here, but no, there's no injuries of things he has to replace, so maybe in another 2 games he could get enough to get another Witch Elf if he does well. But we do have some standard names in here, it looks like, unless he did name these. I see he did name his star players, so I wonder if these actually come from some other specific lore names he's going for. We do have 3 team rerolls, which if you're elves, you're going to need rerolls. He's got an APO, so that will help try and keep people alive. 1 fan factor. He must have won a game, or he purchased it, but they're sitting at 1080 TV. It's Dark Elves, so it should be fun. And we will see what happens with the Gorgeous Gals. Already know that we may have trouble because we got elves with covering a dwarf team before that, so that will be a tough matchup when they do eventually play. Next up, Werecaster with Elf Buggery, Elven Union. We got another elven team for the dwarves here. Does he have a motto? Bugger this. Alright, that works. Dressed in their ref gear. Alright, Werecaster, what do you have up your sleeve? So, looks like these guys haven't played a game yet, so they're starting off roster. Got 2 blitzers, 2 catchers, 1 thrower, and some linemen. So, it's going to be it's pretty standard startup. The 2 blitzers will help. The catchers will be great for going downfield. With 2 of them, he has definitely many options. So it looks like this is going to be a passing team. He doesn't have an APO, so that may be troublesome with all the AV7. But he does have 3 team rerolls, which will help. So we'll like to see what happens with this. Good passing team, which you are kind of expecting passing and massive running from Elven Union. Alright. Let's take a look next at Steeler Daddy's basic bitches. Amazon. Another team that's going to struggle versus the Dwarves. God, the scum. You got a good setup on this one. Whoops. Alright. Pumpkin Spice's Life. Excellent and fitting of a motto for the team name. So, he has named all of his ladies. He's got 4 blitzers, line women, catcher, thrower, standard Amazon build, 4 team rerolls, and 1 APO. I'm questioning why there's 4 team rerolls. I mean, maybe during the beginning, and you drop this off to kill some TV later on, but once Amazons get enough skills, they don't need anything more than 3. It's not required. You'll actually be better off saving the TV because they'll be climbing so much up in skills. So we'll see. He can always throw it away to lower TV. And he has a lot of unskilled. They have dodge, but they don't have block players. So this may be nice to have up front. But if I were him, I would drop it off definitely by round 1, if not sooner, if you get enough of the skill ups. But we will see what happens with this, because it's going to be another team that's going to have trouble with the Dwarves and the tackle. But Amazons are usually a pretty good team, so we'll see what Steeler Daddy can do with them. And next up we have Of Brick Grotto by Scam Banner. Nurgle. It looks like he has already played a game and taken some damage. He only has 2 Nurgle Warriors and Rotters galore. Oh, hold up, I didn't cover his. Does he have motto? Oh, enter the team motto. No. Alright. 2 Nurgle Warriors, one of them taking an injury. And it's a niggler. Oh, man. Already off to a rough start. Looks like he can play one more game, though, and possibly get back this other Nurgle Warrior. I know he was trying to use this low TV to get him star players. So we'll actually see how he handles this specific build. It's going to be tough for sure at first, because, I mean, no one in here has skills. The only skills you're going to get are the star players that he's going to bring in. He does have 2 team rerolls, which is also going to be difficult with the lack of skills and loners coming from the other star players, but he does have at least agility 3 on Rotters, so with their 5 movement, agility 3, strength 3, they can try and help around. But it'll be interesting. I'd like to review some of the games here and see how this build pans out. So I can't wait to see more coverage of this team as we progress through the schedule. Alright, Storn, Oakley's, another elf team in Scumland. Alright, Nice Shades Bro, or it could be Nice Shades Bra. So we have for the Wood Elves 2 War Dancers, of course, linemen galore, and a catcher. Looks like he's played a game and lost a guy. Leveled up just a catcher, so he must have taken a loss here. But did walk away. He's got 70k in the bank, so he can buy another lineman or set up after the next game to buy another person. But I mean, for 70k, you probably want to. You've got your 2 War Answers, unless you're planning on getting besides a catcher. Just buy the lineman and don't get a loner lineman for 70k for the next match. Only has 2 team rerolls, so that's going to be tough. No APO, again, going to be tough. But we're going to have to see what he does next to help pull this team out, because they're already 1 down, but hey, 1 answers are untouched. They might do alright. So we'll see how Storm handles these Wood Elves. Next up, Cadet Tank. The Cadet with Crisal Circle. Chaos. It's time for a change already. Alright, so he entered a motto. Yay! I knew Cadet would. But, alright, he has named all his characters, or players, after people throughout the league, which is a standard but good thing. His Chaos Warriors have played a match. Got one Beastman with Mighty Blow, so we look like we got the beginnings of a Blitzer here. 3 team rerolls that will help with the lack of skills for the Chaos. 1 APO to help keep people alive. And 1 Fan Factor. He either paid for that or did win his game. So we will, let's see, he got 1 MVP and at least maybe 2 touchdowns and a pass. So yeah, it's hard to tell exactly what happened with this team here. Maybe 2 injuries and a touchdown with this guy, but already looks like he's off to a promising start, getting 1 skill up going into round 2 and all his players. So having a lot of L's in here, it's going to be a good bashy time for this Chaos team, as well as those dwarves and the Nurgle, which I did not mention that before. Alright, and then last but not least, we have Ace Pilot JS Pounding It University. What the hell does that mean? Pounding it. Okay. There must be some sort of special thing that I don't know because I'm old. Alright. So, first up, looks like he's had just an awesome game 1. Croxy got an injury, just to miss next game. I say just, it's not a niggler. So, I mean, that could be worse. So he won't have his Croxer going in the next game, but he still has the full complement to everybody else. Of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Saurus. So all the Saurus and then Skink, so he'll get another loner Skink. With variations, I did not know that you could name them all the same name spelled the same way. Alright. You can do so, I guess, as long as they have different numbers. But he has 2 team rerolls. That's going to be difficult because my experience with the Skinks is can't pick up the goddamn ball. So hopefully he can work with this 2 team rerolls going to the next couple of games. He doesn't have any money, but he's not down players. But if he can get some cash, another team reroll is a necessity. Does have the APO to kind of save somebody, and has 1 Fan Factor that'll help. But going to be difficult for the next one, not having the Croxy. But he is playing Elves, or an Elf Heavy League, so he might be, or an Elf Heavy Division. So he might be able to bash his way through the next round without suffering too much of casualties on the Skinks. So we'll see what happens with this team. And then we'll also have to wait and get an explanation from Ace on what JS Pounding It means. Because I'm sure there's a joke there, but I missed it. Alright, and that is our preseason coverage with a couple of games going in. We're going to tease and look at the leaderboard. Alright, Placebo to Scum, pulling it out. Ace with the tie on the Cadet. Storn and Scam Bammer on the bottom, which we already kind of guessed from looking at it. Still to play, we've got the Basic Bitches versus Elf Buggery. So they already got a good start up to their season. Who knows? They might be ready to enter the next round before we're even supposed to kick off, which that start time is tomorrow. So, enjoy this season, BPM fans. I'll be covering the Slaanesh division and all the terror and death and destruction that will follow. This is 2 Kills out.